Silence and stillness. For thousands of years, the practitioners of early Indian philosophy sought out environments like these to map the inner workings of human consciousness. Today, our baseline environment is motion. We navigate an architecture of constant connectivity, high-speed information exchange, and an escalating sense of cognitive overload. Yet the sensation of an overwhelmed, anxious mind is a very old problem. 2 millennia before the advent of the digital economy, the sage Patanjali identified this exact state of distraction as the primary source of human suffering. This manuscript records his foundational text, the Yoga Sutras. In its opening chapter, the Samadhi Pada, Patanjali diagnoses the problem directly as chitta vritti, the chaotic, uncontrolled fluctuations of the mind field. The commentator Vyasa illustrates this with a metaphor. The mind is a lake. When agitated by desires and delusions, the water becomes opaque, obscuring the depths. Patanjali's goal is nirodha, the complete cessation of these fluctuations, allowing the water to settle until it achieves perfect transparency. The architecture of our attention has changed, but the underlying mechanism, a mind instinctively attaching itself to a constant stream of external objects, is the exact pattern Patanjali defined as vritti. Digital technology simply provides a higher volume of objects for the mind to follow. This shifts our understanding of what yoga actually entails. Stripped of modern associations with physical flexibility, it is an intellectual and psychological discipline designed to isolate awareness. The 19th century scholar Swami Vivekananda expanded on this framework by highlighting the absolute distinction Patanjali draws between the observer and the observed. Reality has 2 domains: prakriti, the material world, including our bodies and buzzing minds, and purusha, the pure, unchanging consciousness that observes. Distress occurs when consciousness tangles with the material domain, identifying our permanent self with temporary thoughts fluctuating inside the mind. Inner stability requires breaking that identification. We have to stop deriving our sense of self from the shifting metrics of the external world and return our awareness to the silent observer. Bridging the gap between a fragmented mind and pure awareness requires a highly systematic approach. In the second section of the sutras, the Sadhana Pada, Patanjali lays out the mechanics of daily transformation. Physical purification has a role in the tradition, but the text demands that the entire system starts with an ethical foundation. These are the yamas, or external restraints, and the niyamas, or internal observances. These ancient codes translate directly into contemporary life. The principle of ahimsa, or nonviolence, governs how a leader navigates a corporate hierarchy without exploitation. Satya, or truthfulness, dictates the clarity and honesty of our daily communications. Aparigraha requires non-possessiveness. Applied today, it serves as a direct rejection of consumerism and the compulsion to accumulate digital influence and material wealth. This rigorous code was never restricted to recluses. Texts like the Yoga Yajnavalkya explicitly frame these practices for the active householder, individuals deeply embedded in family and civic duties. Yoga is not a retreat from the world. It provides the structural stability needed to operate within social complexities while remaining centered. With an ethical foundation secured, the practice moves inward in the Vibhuti Pada, directly confronting the modern crisis of fractured focus. The first step is pratyahara, the deliberate withdrawal of the senses. It is the conscious act of pulling away from the noise, the notifications, and the demands of the crowd. From that internal quiet, the practitioner trains concentration, called dharana. Over time, that concentration deepens into dhyana, a state of prolonged, effortless meditation. The culmination of this process is samyama. Here, the boundary between the observer and the object of focus dissolves completely into a state of unbroken, flow-like attention. We live in an ecosystem driven by the capture of human focus. In this context, the capacity to sustain a single point of attention becomes a rare and potent capacity. Achieving this focus is one thing. Sustaining it over a lifetime of setbacks and successes is another. Patanjali addresses this early by establishing a dual engine for transformation, abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa requires persistent, reverential practice. Vairagya demands complete non-attachment to the results. Engaging fully without obsessing over the outcome provides a direct counterweight to the cycle of overachievement and burnout. This brings us to the final chapter, the Kaivalya Pada. The text defines Kaivalya not as escaping reality, but as attaining absolute independence. In this state, the mirror of the mind is cleared of the habitual patterns and impressions that usually distort our view. Like a polished crystal, the mind becomes established in its own nature, reflecting reality exactly as it is. The liberated yogi does not retreat from the world. They operate within it, experiencing its demands and complexities, yet remain entirely free from its grip. The principles outlined in the Yoga Sutras were never meant to be confined to palm leaves and ancient archives. Their true destination is the human mind. In the final episodes of this series, we will step back to explore Patanjali's enduring legacy, tracing the remarkable journey of this philosophy across history, cultures, and generations.